My tit is hanging out. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. If you are new, then hi. My name's Marie and I'm now 23. Oh my god, that rhymes. We've got a rhyme, guys. It was my birthday yesterday and I did have these videos filmed already, but it was audio corrupted. It was a situation, but it's sorted now. Well, it's not. It's in the bin. We're doing it again. So as it was my birthday, did I mention that it was my birthday yesterday? Did I mention it was my birthday? Why do I think I'm so funny? Like, I'm really not. I thought I would bring you guys a present, and just before we start, thank you so much for all the messages. Thank you for all the... I got cards from you guys. I got gifts from you guys. I really, like, I was spoiled, and if you want to see what I got for my birthday, then over on my Patreon I'm gonna have a video about it. But yeah, as it was my birthday, oh my god, how many times am I going to say that? I thought I would give you guys something back, if that makes sense. So this week you can expect 4 videos. They're all going to be DBT. They're all going to be DBT based, as the title suggests, and as what we're going to do today. So I just wanted to give you kind of a taster of what DBT is, and I think the skills are so transferable that you would be able to use them whether you suffer with your mental health, whether you don't suffer with your mental health, whether you are old, young, you know what I mean. I think they're great skills that everyone should know. And what I thought I'd do is, like, every month or so, for 6 weeks, I would release 4 videos in 1 week, and just go through some DBT skills, because the reason I'm doing 4 is because DBT is in 4 parts, but we'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, I hope you guys like that idea and enjoy that, and if you're not already, subscribe, because, you know, there might be some videos that you like. So before we start, I just want to give a little, like, what is DBT, because I'm sure that a lot of people are familiar with the name but don't actually know what it is. DBT is dialectical behavioural therapy. It's a bit of a mouthful. DBT is a mouthful. It's about being able to manage emotions. It was designed for people, I think it was designed with people by, I think her name was Marsha, a woman who actually had borderline personality disorder. It was designed for people with borderline personality disorder, and she had been in institutions and, like, hospital a lot of her life and never found something that was concrete and able to manage what she was going through. So it was designed to help people with borderline personality disorder. So in layman's terms, like, obviously you can go onto Mind and search what DBT is, but in layman's terms, which is the terms that I like to use, like, you just call me Miss Layman. Abby just barges in and out of my room and just opens my door. Abby! He's just staring me out. He's been cut, and I'm not gonna lie, when he first comes back from the groomers, it's not my favourite time to spend with him. I know, how vain is that? So basically, DBT is how to cope, skills to cope with life. Skills to cope with managing yourself as a person, and managing the way you react to situations. It's a kind of way that, even though I just said that how you control how you react to situations, is also kind of accepting the fact that you are not in control of your whole life and what happens to you, but it is the reaction that people see, everyone else sees, and that you feel. And it's so important for these skills, because I don't think that what dialectical behavioural therapy, DBT, it's a very straightforward skills. Like, these are not difficult skills. They're very like they're almost like already know that, but you don't know it. You don't know it in the way that you need to know it, which is the way that to actually utilise it. You may have heard of it, you may be like, well, I do that anyway, but it's all about being so mindful and in control. And yeah, it's split into 4 sections. So it's split into mindfulness, interpersonal emotional regulation, and distress tolerance. Today we are going to be doing the distress tolerance. So we're going to be starting with distress tolerance, just because I thought, if you are unsure about how this video goes, I think distress tolerance not is the most important in my eyes, but it's the most profound, in the way that when you're distressed, it's harder to react positively or react mindfully. Distress can be over a long period of time, and I think that's what I really like about this skill we're going to learn today, which is called radical acceptance. I know you're going to be like, what? But me and Pip and I, because I did DBT for nearly a whole year. I didn't do a whole year because just, do you want the tea? I had a therapist. I am a man.
I am a man who has recently bought a house in the local area, and I'm having a housewarming party to which I'll be inviting a lot of the local adults.
I had a therapist who I did not see eye to eye with. We just did not get on. We really did not get on. And I was quite young. I think I was 19-ish. 19, 20, and I hadn't done the interpersonal skills of this, and I hadn't realised that you can change your situation. So I put up with this woman for, and I'm going to say put up with because it was put up with, we did not get on. You know, like, that's fine, she can be her own person, but just we did not get on, okay? So I didn't finish DBT. Like, I literally had like maybe 3 weeks left, and you get like a certificate after, but I did a whole year of it, which is 3 hours of therapy a week, which may not sound that much, but 3 hours of therapy a week is intense. Like, it's like a year of intense therapy where you have to fully commit yourself. And I think that it was like 2 hour group therapy and then 1 hour individual therapy, I believe. But I was gonna say something. Fish tank empty. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Pip and I, that's what I was talking about. Pip and I used to use radical acceptance all the time. Like, this is why I wanted to revisit DBT, because not only would it help you, but I think it's going to benefit me as well, which is actually what I want from my videos. Now I know I'm going on and I need to get into the thing. I know I talk a lot, but I just wanted to, because it's the first one, I just wanted to, like, you know, get the basis. Drag the bass, get the low, slow, low, radio, say speed it up, and go slow. That's what I want from my videos now, is to be able to benefit from them as a two-way street. Like, if I'm doing this every week, I might as well benefit from it. Before, I feel like I was just like saying the same old droll every week, but I thought this would be a great starter. So, let's get into it. I have... Hello and welcome to the News at 10 with marieroseeee. Today on the DBT list we have, I have sheets, right, which I'm unsure of how to show you guys, because I don't want to just, like, what I could do but I don't really want to do because I don't think it's the most helpful, is I could just put them on screen. But I always think, like, if you're on a desktop, if you're on like a laptop, you're not desktop, who says that? If you're on a laptop, you might not be able to like screenshot it. So what I might do is if you go and head over to my Instagram, then I will put them on my story after every video that I upload, because there's not loads of sheets. There's like literally, how many for this one? 3. And the first one is just, it's just basically, like this one I could put on screen because it's just basically an outline of the DBT processes. So you've got like mindfulness, interpersonal effectiveness, you've got emotional regulation, and then distress tolerance. Is this upside down? No. I thought it was upside down then. I was like, oh my god, if that's not my life, I don't know what is. So if you head over to my Instagram, if you are interested in these sheets, just to like, because I know that not everyone can access this therapy, and I'm so privileged to be able to have said that I've done like a whole year of it. But that was 3 years ago, and I think if this was me, and I was watching it when I was younger, I would just like to see the sheets. So as boring as it might be for all the people who used to go to my old school, I'm going to be having DBT sheets on my story, so fuck you bitches. But yeah, anyway, that's what I think I'm going to do. Let me know if the general consensus is a yes, then I will put them on my story when this video goes up, like after a few comments have come through. Anyway, so I'm gonna just basically go from the sheets because, like I said, I just want to pop in and say, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, a DBT professional, I'm not a doctor, nurse, care coordinator. I am the bitch who suffers with the bitch, and therefore needs the bitch. Yeah, I'm just a girl who has been through mental health struggles, who has done DBT and has the resources to hand. Anything that I add is my own personal opinion. It's not like, this is not a professional video, guys. This is just literally me showing you what I have done in the past, and I hope you are okay with that, and I hope that doesn't cause any issues. Just remember, don't believe anything that I fucking say, okay? So the first handout says when to use survival skills. So basically at the bottom it says, don't use crisis survival skills for everyday problems, solving all of your life problems and making your life worth living. They're not the basis of things, these are for short term. So you are in crisis when the situation is highly stressful, short term, that is, it won't last a long time, if you didn't know what short term means, and creates intense pressure to resolve this crisis now. We've all been in a crisis situation where it's your decision is so important, because otherwise, because how you react will literally dictate what your life is going to be like. Does that make sense? And then the next thing it says is use crisis survival skills when you have intense pain that you cannot be helped quickly. You want to act on your emotions, but it will only make things worse. Things like self-harm, things like short-term substance abuse, drinking, you know. You feel a bad emotion, not a bad emotion, no emotions are bad, that's one thing we're gonna learn. No emotions are bad, they're there for a reason. When you feel a stressful emotion, your emotional mind threatens to overwhelm you and you need to stay skillful. So in DBT, I'm gonna okay, this is gonna be a long video. All the other videos are going to be shorter because they're literally just going to be the skill, but I want to just outline some things. So in DBT you have one circle which is your emotional mind, one circle which is your which is your rational mind, and in the middle is your wise mind. This is the part that we want. We want to get that wise mind, grab it and take it. You are overwhelmed, yet demands must be met. Arousal is extreme, but problems can't be solved immediately. Arousal is a word used a lot in DBT. It doesn't mean sexual arousal, it just means general arousal. That was one thing that I had to get through to my thick head. I was like, so when you get an erection... And yeah, so that is just an outline of when to use a distress tolerance skill. I think it's important to know, just even though, like, this is what I mean, even though it seems like really basic, it's important to just remind yourself of the basicness of it. Basicness, is that a word? I don't know. Okay. The first thing it says that you need to do is observe the situation that you're in and observe why you are questioning reality, like having in this mindset of it shouldn't be this way, fighting reality. These are the times you need to use radical acceptance. Okay, and then it says, remind yourself that there are causes for the reality. Acknowledge that some of the history led up to this moment. It's all about taking ownership of things and being like, you know what? This happened because I did this. Therefore, this is the consequence, and I need to deal with the consequence, as opposed to just having a short-term fuel and it feels like you're dealing with the consequence in the moment, but in the long term you're not. And you have to consider how people's lives have been shaped by a series of factors. Notice that given these casual factors and how history led up to this moment, this reality had to occur this way. This is how things happen. So it is like being like, yo bitch, the reason this happened is because you made it happen, or you didn't make it happen but you have to deal with it, whether you like it or not. So practicing and accepting the whole time. So it's all about, in DBT it always says you've got to like practice with your whole self, which is your mind, body and spirit. And the next point says practice opposite action, which, so these are, this is difficult because these are all the things you have to do before you get to the radical acceptance bit, but we haven't learned, because we're on day one of group therapy bitches, aren't we? We are group therapy bitches. If you get to this point, put hashtag group therapy bitches. So the practice opposite action, that is a DBT skill in itself. So, but this gives you a way of that you can just do it. So you can list all the behaviours you would do if you accept the facts, then act as if you've already accepted the facts. Engage in the behaviours that you would do if you really had accepted the facts. So that's quite obvious. It's just pretending that you've already accepted the way things are and then acting the way it is. It's like fake it till you make it, really. The next one says cope ahead with events that seem unacceptable. So cope ahead is another DBT skill that we can tick off the list. So if you have done DBT or want to comment down below which skills you want me to do, let me know first, because that would be fine. So what you could do to cope ahead is imagine in your mind's eye believing what you don't want to accept. Rehearse in your mind what you would do if you accepted what seems unacceptable. And you need to attend to the body sensations as you think about what you need to accept. Allow disappointment, allow sadness, or allow grief to rise within you. DBT is all about learning that emotions are there for a reason. If you take one thing away from this video, it's that I want you to know that emotions are there for a reason, and they are there just to tell you something. Like, emotions aren't bad. You are allowed to feel emotions that make you feel negative. Like, I'm gonna call them negative emotions just because, like, we have the positive ones like happy, excited, but you have the negative ones. They're not, but negative does not mean bad. Are you with me? I know you would be. Acknowledge that life is worth living even when there is pain. That's deep. And then finally it says, do pros and cons of finding yourself resisting practicing radical acceptance. I have just done the step-by-step without even telling you what radical acceptance is. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. That was really stupid of me. I don't know why that just went... but I think it's because I've already filmed this video. I thought that we'd already talked about it. Radical acceptance is literally chucking yourself into accepting the experience that you're going through, or a situation that has happened in the past. And I'll tell you something very important about it in a minute, which helped me, because I have had situations in the past which I have had to radically accept, because if I hadn't radically accepted them, they would cause me so much more pain than if I'd just been like, you know what, shit has happened and I am just going to accept it. I am just going to radically throw my bowels, throw my mind, body and soul into the fact that I am going to just be like, you know what, this has happened. So radical acceptance is not approval. Just because you say something is acceptable doesn't mean that you're forgiving. Just because you hear me? Just because you've accepted something does not mean that you are forgiving that person, that situation, or anything like that. Radical acceptance is not compassion, love, passivity, or against change. I don't really know what that means. I would say there is not a lot of feeling with radical acceptance. It makes you feel some kind of way in the future, but in the short term, it's a very tricky skill to do. And I think once you become very like immune to it, it's so great. Like I remember me and Pip and I always say that, we used to be like any bad situation would happen and we'd go radical acceptance, and it would just literally take us out of this emotional mind and put us into wise mind, because that is the basis of DBT, is these two circles, this bit in the middle. So there are loads of factors that can interfere with it. That's why it makes it tricky. So factors that can interfere with radical acceptance are not having the skills to know how to accept something, because acceptance isn't just like, yeah, okay, I accept that this really painful event happened in my life. I just accept it. It's not that. It's about taking yourself out of emotional mind. It's about mindfulness. It's about checking the facts. It's about taking a step back. It's about how am I going to cope forward. It's about acting opposite to emotion. And I know this might seem a bit overwhelming because you're like, I don't know these things. But you do know these things. If I tell you to act opposite to your emotion, you know how to do that, okay? Believe in yourself. So another thing that could interfere with the acceptance is you believe that if you accept a painful event, you're making light of it or approving the facts. And that's nothing... I cannot speak. I cannot read, you know? I find it really difficult to read aloud. And that nothing will be done to change or prevent future painful events. Let me just read that again.
You believe that if you expect painful events, you're making light of it or proving the facts, and that nothing will be done to change or... Okay, I'm trying
to like figure out what that means. But I think it just means that just because you accept something does not mean that you are saying that it's okay. And that's so important to remember. You're not forgiving. You can accept and not forgive. And finally, something that can interfere with it are emotions that get in the way. So unbearable sadness, anger at the person or group that have caused the painful event, rage at the injustice of the world, overwhelming shame about who you are, guilt about your own behaviour. I think these emotions are sadness, anger, rage, shame, guilt. These are all these emotions that we want to actually learn how to cope with, because we experience them and we try and shut them down. No, I'm just not going to feel that, because feeling that hurts too much. But instead with DBT, it's I'm going to take this and I'm going to feel it with everything. I'm going to allow myself 10 minutes of absolute pure rage, safely, or I'm allowed to be absolutely sad for 10 minutes straight. I'm just going to be sad. But then after that, you radically accept the situation. You allow yourself time to feel these things, but you don't let them take over your life. You don't let them dictate how you behave. So that is radical acceptance. It's basically with your mind, body, soul, spirit, whatever you want to say, saying that you radically accept a situation. Like, I'm not going to go into a situation that I had to radically accept, but it was painful. It was very I felt injustice, because I was like, how can I just accept that this happened because it's so wrong? Like, it should never have happened. And I think acknowledging the fact that that's all true, and radically accepting it doesn't stop that from being true. It doesn't forgive the situation, but it does allow you to not let it interfere with your life anymore, because you're like, you know what, this fucking happened to me, but am I gonna let you absolute dickhead, would I let you dictate how I'm doing now? Because you're going on with your life very well, you're living your best life, I want to live mine, and I'm not going to let what you did to me change that. I just got deep, I'm not going to cry. But yeah, that is what radical acceptance is. I hope you like this idea of a DBT skills thing. I spoke a lot in this video, but there is so much. I think with each video there will be less of a intro. So yeah, if you did like this video, please give it a like. Please know that I will be uploading another 3 videos this week, and they're not filmed yet, so if you have any feedback for me, please leave it down below, because if you think I talk too much, we'll pack that in. If you think I'm fucking annoying, well, you've got to go. That's not my problem. I'm radically accepted that I'm annoying. You've got to do it too, or you got to leave. So subscribe if you're not already, and I shall see you in my next video. Ta-ta, ladies. So this is the end of group therapy. Sorry, I don't know why I just did that.